Hello, and my name is Robert Hoyle, and I wanted to talk a little bit about my VR project proposal. The title of my project is Searching and Accessing Digital Resources in Virtual Reality, Bringing VR Reading to Libraries. So the goal of my project is to enable people to access and read digital resources from a library's database in virtual reality. So what that would mean is the way that you access materials in a physical library off of the bookshelf. I'd like people to get an experience kind of like that by or when they're interacting with a library's online database. Um, and this can be done either physically in the library, having a VR headset, or letting people use their own VR device at home or mobile device and access it via the web. So part of what I think is interesting and important about this project is that I think a lot of students, at least that I've come across, and in public libraries too, probably just um, users who are less comfortable with computers and technology in general, um, might actually find that using virtual reality to interact with the database is uh, more straightforward or more something that's easier to understand than current database um, options. And I think that could be kind of interesting to allow people to interact with the database more like a physical library where you can search a journal and pull things off a shelf in some sense. And so being able to actually search the database, find an article that you're looking for, you know, um, select the article and then open it and read it all in virtual reality, I think would be a really cool way of kind of actually bridging the technology gap because people can understand, moving with your hands and seeing the physical object in front of you, maybe more so than just seeing a page with a bunch of links to a bunch of articles that you then kind of have to continue to follow a trail of links to find. Um, and I think being able to do that in a way where you get to use your hands rather than a mouse or a trackpad um, could be really helpful. So I wanted to talk about my prototype for what viewing materials in VR could look like. Um, my prototype is a very rough proof of concept, and then I'll show an example of Alice VR, which is a more um, much more complete version of what viewing a text would look like or could look like in VR. That's one example. My goal would be to basically add what we're going to see for a large number of documents and let people access them in the way that we're about to see, um, and also access the database. So this still doesn't cover the entirety of the project, but it's it's an important part of it, the actual reading of the document. So here's my proof of concept. This is what it would kind of look like. You'd be in this space. This is just one page of text. Um, the idea would be that you would have some kind of user interface around this too, where you could, I made this in Unity, and we wouldn't have to necessarily use Unity, but that's the software that I was most comfortable with for something like this, and even then I would need a lot more expertise to make what we're about to see. But reading a document like this with a VR headset on, you can actually move closer and further from the document. You can move left or right, and I think something like this, if you include being able to actually have your hands in the space and move around the object in your hands like it's a physical book, I think that could be a really powerful application. So we're about to take a look at Alice VR, which is a much more developed version of something kind of like this. So here's Alice VR. you can kind of see um, how the changing pages goes. Um, you go one page to the next. There's kind of a nice, like, peaceful background in the back, and that could be something that you would be able to change with like an options menu if you want to like personalize it. But I'd like users to be able to experience a document like this with a VR headset on, and kind of have this much more immersive, interactive experience with digital texts. And so my project, um, I kind of talk about a few of the ways that this, helps accessibility in the proposal, um, and and it actually speaks to a lot of theories that are, um, well, pretty new, but that are like, or not, I guess not theories, but people theorizing ways that reading in VR can help in education, and can also help people learn to read, and increase interest in reading. So I think there are studies there that are showing that something like this could be really, really powerful. So hopefully, with in time, I would have an opportunity to actually pursue a project like this fully, and I think that could be really cool. Okay, thank you for watching my presentation. I know this is just a very brief overview, but I just kind of wanted to give an idea of what the project would look like. Um, Linking something like this to a database where you'd have what you see on the screen here for every object in the database, would be the ultimate goal. Okay, thank you for your time.